Let's welcome back. Thanks so much for tuning in to RC Air Training Command. We're having a lot of fun. The lesson you're going to see today, we're going to cover and wrap up the Champ. We're going to cover forced landings, stall recoveries, some slow flight, and controlled landing approaches. Forced landings are unplanned events. They can come at us from a multitude of different directions. Our battery can run out, or we can get into a situation where we've lost our orientation. Maybe we've gotten the plane out of the pattern too far away from ourselves, where visibility and orientation is out the window. We're going to recommend the hands-off approach, the freak-out method. Let it glide in, the thing won't hurt itself. We're going to illustrate how sweet actually the thing can land hands-off. Another thing you can do is, let's say the battery expired. You can just glide it down, fly it down, or let go. You've always got these options. If you remember, you'll know that the Champ has the tendency to self-correct. If you get off the throttle and get off the control movements, whether it be elevator or rudder, the plane's going to level out. You can trust that the plane is going to just glide whatever way it's facing. It's going to correct itself and glide whatever way it's facing. So there's a multitude of ways to get to the earth unplanned. But try your best to be in control of it.
So here we are again. Let's just say we run into some problems. We're going to hand launch. Look how nice that is. And we're going along. Oh boy. Of course I'm working this stick's pretty nasty here. And here's what happens. Hands completely off. Look at her come. Actually,
wow.
Hands off all the way. Perfect landing.
Right.
So you can see that. Well, we couldn't do better even if we tried.
No kidding.
You can see how this thing will work once it's kind of trimmed out. And here, we'll do one more time. We'll throw it off into the wind. Remember, it's just a push. And oh no, I'm running into some problems. Oh boy. And then we're going to just look at this. Hands completely off. Look at the Champ. See how she does this? Look at that. She's coming in. Boom. That's how it's done, folks. Just going to launch her in the wind. Look at that. And I'm going into my pattern work. Let's just say I get into some distress flying. Uh-oh. Don't know what to do. I'm cutting throttle. And look at her just come on down. Hands completely off. And she's going to come right down. It looks like she's going to make a good landing, don't it?
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, that was great.
Now, here's what will happen. I'm going to try to get this thing around before she loses her battery. There she goes. We're getting some wind here. Oh, she's dead. But look, I still got control. I still got control over the surfaces, and I just bring her in. After the battery is wearing out, immediately unplug the battery and go charge it. Don't run it completely to zero. If you run a lithium battery down to zero, that battery will no longer be any good.
So here I am. I've run my battery out. So I'm not going to pull up on the elevator. I'm just going to let the plane just glide in. We're comfortable now where we don't have to just let go and freak out. We're just going to fly it down. There's no power, but we're just going to fly it down. There you go. The battery just ran out. Now I'm going to follow my own advice and just fly it in. Just going to fly it in. Not pulling too hard on the up elevator, just having fun with it. It's the coolest paper airplane you'll ever have.
Stall is simply when you break the airfoil air. That's it. At a high angle of attack, you cannot get air over your wing any longer. Once that happens, the thing just falls. And it will fall. It might fall to the side, it might do a straight down, or it might turn in here, or it might start to go into a spin.
Wow, that isn't right. Let go of everything, and it catches itself in the glide. Spool back up to half throttle, and here I am flying it again. Okay, let go. Let go of everything but left the power on that time. You can do it either way.
Now we're going to work on slow flight.
What I've done is cut from half throttle to about quarter throttle just to lower my altitude. And now what I want to do is maintain this altitude, so it's not uncommon that I need to pour on a little bit more throttle to maintain this level. So I would say I'm just under half throttle, and it's going really nice. What I want to do now is really apply that back pressure now on the up elevator. And what I'm really doing, I'm doing it down low for video purposes, but I'm really flirting with the stall when I do this. The benefit of being on low rate is that there's not enough up elevator to really get you in trouble unless you just manage to get it extremely slow.
Yep.
We are flying extremely slow at the moment. I want to add a little more throttle and increase my back pressure, and you can see that up nose attitude that we've got established. This is, there it stalled. Did you see it? It did it very gently where it just kind of mushed forward.
Now that you've done the pattern work and the slow flight, this is where the two are going to come into practice. So go ahead and launch it. Now we're not going to go very high on this, nor very far out. What we're going to do now is simulate the landing. So what we're going to do is just cut back, and I want you to get close to the ground, but do not land. Just look at that, like she's going to land. Then come right out of the pattern and come back around. That right there is the most crucial point to landings. You don't necessarily have to land. We're going to keep you over the nice soft grass. But act like you're going to land. Look at this. It's like this. Real slow, like she's going to land. And then give her full power and go around. You practice that for about 3 batteries. When you're brand new, the whole 3 batteries with. And you'll be able to do on concrete absolutely no problem. Look at that. We're coming into slow flight. Getting ready. Look how slow that is. Nope. We're going to go back and around.
So you're going to enter your landing pattern from slow flight. You're not going to be full throttle and make a landing very many times until you're getting a new one. So what you're going to be in a slow flight pattern. Like Mike said, it's throttle back some, less than half, which we're calling cruising speed. And to maintain that altitude, it takes stick movements. Sometimes you need a little more throttle than others. Sometimes you need a little more elevator up, back pressure. So whatever it takes, you're using your sticks and you're keeping the plane in slow flight at an even altitude. You come around the pattern, you line up into the wind, you decrease the throttle and watch it sink in real nice. And if it's sinking in too fast, give it a little more throttle. You're basically maintaining the same back pressure kind of the whole time, although we know you're going to have to work both. So what we're gearing towards here is a power on, controlled, awesome landing. These are going to be what you want when you're flying bigger aircraft. This plane will take whatever you give it once again. You don't want to be pressing down elevator to get yourself, force yourself down because you don't think you're low enough. If you're not low enough, go around again. Go around again, get out here. As I said, cut the throttle back, establish a nice slow descent glide, get yourself about 6 inches off the ground, chop the throttle the rest of the way and pull full back on your elevator. And what you're trying to do there is get a flare. So you're coming in under power, little power, more back pressure, more back pressure. You chop the throttle so you're not spinning into the grass or the pavement. And what you want to do is like I said, pull full back elevator. And if you're lucky, you get a nice flare before it does touch down. That's a power on landing. So to do a no power landing, a dead stick landing, you're going to do the same thing. You'll be in a slow flight pattern or not. Say your battery ran out. If you're dead sticking and you hold too much up elevator in it, what's going to happen? You're going to stall it. Then if you're lucky, you can recover and make a landing, but usually you're going to be too close to the ground and you're going to come in at a real steep angle. So just stick with it, fly it down. If you see the plane's getting into a slow flight up attitude and you don't have thrust to fly it through it, put the nose down and just maintain that slow descent rate. Whether power on or power off, nice and steady is what we're after. And it's what you're after, and it's what the aircraft desires. As he mentioned, you know, the stall will happen once the plane's at such an attitude, the wind no longer conforms to the surface of the wing. So you can maintain that position if you've got lift, but without thrust you won't have any. Dead sticking, if you're up like this, it's going to be over one way or the other, or just mush. So nose down, follow the glide in, just stick with it, and you can do it. And if you don't think you can, just let off the sticks. This thing will land itself.
All right, for proper takeoff, instead of just full power and yank, you don't do that. What you're going to do is gradually give it power and just a nice throttle up. And once that starts to take off, it should take off on its own, but you can give it just a slight back pressure to get her up. She's pointed into the wind, and here we go. I'm just running her up, full power now, just slightly back on the stick, and look at that. And folks, you got to remember too, what makes a plane go up and down isn't the elevator. That just changes the angle of attack. Throttle makes a plane go up, and throttle also makes a plane come down.
So I'm settling into a nice descent. I like it. I better add a little power though. It's as gentle as that. So now we're landing on the pavement, and I'm setting up a nice descent rate. I'm not porpoising. I'm working the elevator to keep it moving at a nice constant rate, no up and down. It is slow flight day, I tell you.
And this is where all that slow flight practice came in. Boop.
There we go.
Pilots, congratulations. You've made it through flight lesson 1. You can adequately and competently fly the lessons and maintain control of your Hobbyzone Champ, and you are ready for the next step, which will be flight lesson 2. You've earned your wings. Yay! Yeah, that. See you next time.